Imagine relating to Rey Skywalker. Jesus.
Well, that's not a character. That's the problem you have there. There's no character in Rey Skywalker.
We're gonna make a samurai movie. It's set in Japan, and it's only gonna be white people. Yeah, he's gonna be the last samurai, and it's just gonna be like one black guy, and then everybody else is gonna be white. There's gonna be no Asians in the movie at all.
And it's literally still gonna be played by Tom Cruise, but he's gonna be in blackface like in Tropic Thunder. They should make a like Judge promo that's white, but like the super expensive rare one is just
Wow.
white.
It's the one that everybody actually wants.
Yeah.
Let's just say like someone buys Star Wars and then just like releases a Star Wars movie, and it's just about like it's like a
Finn
buddy
is
cop.
white.
It's no. It's like a buddy cop movie like set in the 70s, and it's like this is Star Wars. I'm like, this is not Star Wars.
You're literally saying all minorities are losers, and they're salty about it.
Can you imagine if the hobbits were just cheating?
They were the only ones. I'd be like, what the hell is happening?
Why is this? They're like, what are you, racist? I'm like, no.
We're here today to discuss representation in Magic the Gathering, Patrick. Me and you have played at least 1 or 2 games of this. We have thrown a magic card or 2 at each other. You're playing right now. How topical.
Yeah. Playing Cube Draft.
Did you ever play the Lord of the Rings set that came out?
I did. I played the shit out of that set.
Yeah? Did you play Aragorn?
Yeah, he's okay. There was a few versions of Aragorn, but yeah.
You racist. How dare you? Do you hate white people? Is that what's going on?
You can't be racist towards white people.
That's true. I learned that. Many people have. Yeah, it's true. My ex told me that, I think. Well, not I think. She definitely said that. There's no question of whether or not that was said. She definitely said that. I had mild disagreements with that. It may have been the cause of our breakup. Who knows?
Okay.
Anything's possible.
Let's
anyway.
just redefine words.
Yeah, it's fine. Prejudice plus power, Patrick. Always remember this.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Anyway, we're going to talk about how Aragorn in Magic the Gathering was black. You know, I saw the movies. I didn't read the books, but I saw the movies, and he was most assuredly not black in those.
Sure.
I don't know how accurate those are, so maybe I'm wrong. So, you know. But a couple people got mad. One person who got mad, I forgot this person's name already, and I can't see it. The person who we're watching. It's like some guy or something like that. That's literally the name of his channel. It's like some dude there or something. I forgot it. I don't care. It's not important. It's in the description if you want to learn the person's name. But anyway, we're going to watch that. And since I've played a magic card at least once, Patrick has literally played this magic card that we're going to talk about. So I figure he might be a good person at it. He's also like a gigantic bigot, so I figured that would be entertaining. Right.
Yeah,
I'm only slightly bigoted. Patrick's taller than me, so he's a bigger bigot. That's my definition of what makes you a big bigot.
By definition.
By definition.
Just
we're both bigoted.
Version of a bigot.
Well, we're both white, so we're automatically bigots. Someone told me that too. That wasn't my ex. That was an even crazier person. I know it sounds crazy that someone
who told you that?
I don't know, the internet people. I don't know that a person I know said that, but I've heard this.
It's funny how these people just can't see their.
What do you mean these people? Which people are those, Patrick?
Retards.
Black people?
Retards. Am I allowed to say that?
Yes, I don't care. You can say retard.
It's like, hey, you know that thing that I'm accusing you of? I'm going to embody that ideal. Oh, cool, dude.
Cool. Nice one, bro.
Wow, that's
nailed it.
Literally the definition of hypocrite.
Yeah, it's a little bit hypocritical, but I mean, who cares?
Yeah,
it ultimately doesn't matter. We're gonna watch this video. Hopefully, have an opinion or 2 on it. I don't know enough about the lore to really have a huge, strong opinion on Aragorn specifically. Do I think it's okay to race swap characters, though? Generally speaking, as long as it still works within the world, I think it's fine. I don't think it's necessary. I start questioning when people do it, just because I'm just like, okay, why are you doing this? Is this actually advantageous to your story, or is there just no black people in it, so you need to make a black person? Which I think is generally okay, as long as it's still good and it fits. Like, it makes sense that Aragorn would be black. I don't know if it does. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't have a strong opinion on this. But as long as he's like, I don't know, geographically, Middle Earth is diverse enough, and he's from the place that would make sense for them to be black, then I'm fine with it. I don't think that that's the case with Aragorn, but I'm not an expert. So that's my general take, is you can do it. I do recognize at least a somewhat hypocrisy that you would never do this any other way.
Yes. Yeah, that was going to be my point.
There is some validity to that, and some invalid because like clearly white people are represented in media, so it's not a big deal if you make a white person another color, but colored people, I said colored people, minorities, BIPOC, if you will.
People of color.
Yeah, people of color, POC, yes. I think colored is. I think I actually might have done a bad. Oh well, who cares? Cancel me. Anyway, they're less represented. Minorities are generally less represented in media. So I understand why people might be a little bit less happy if you do it to a person of color than you make them
The term is
white.
big mad. Yeah.
Big mad. Yes, if they were big mad about it. I don't understand necessarily big mad unless they just were like, hey, all the Wakandans are white. I'd be like, okay, be big mad about that. But if like, I don't know, one character.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
If one character is and you're just big mad, I wouldn't quite get it.
No, I know you did this for video games where you said that there was like, are African Americans underrepresented in video games, and it's the fact that they're like slightly overrepresented based on their population in the United States.
You said they were overrepresented?
Well, you said, what is it, like 20% of characters are... correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it was like exactly representation. The dude brought up a study saying that like they match their census data, basically. At least black people. I don't remember if it covered other races, but black people were represented. His counters were like Madden offsets that, and then they weren't main characters, which I don't know. The main characters, he might have a point, but
Right.
his title was also no black people in video games, which he disproved immediately by bringing up that article. Yeah, I don't know how it is in media in general. That was specifically video games, as far as I know.
I'm actually undecided on this. I personally don't care. Not really. I think I would care more if it were a movie, because it just kind of... It just kind of doesn't... It feels forward. Where it's just... Skin tone is... There's a reason. People have different skin tones based on where they grew up, right? The closer to the equator you are, the darker skin you are. It's just like true. And so if this guy is from, like, in lore, is from this place, and he's the only black one, like, it just doesn't make sense.
I agree. That's like my point, is that if you have the world, you have a place that's geographically diverse enough and people can travel enough, then it makes sense to have black people.
Right, exactly.
Like, in like a generally white population.
I heard this on the internet one time, and it's like in passing, so with a grain of salt, that like the idea of Middle Earth, like it's like a continent or whatever, was supposed to be like a representation of like it's just like another worldly Europe.
Yeah, I think this video actually talks about that a little bit.
And it's just like, it doesn't, you know, if we're gonna play the part, it's just like, it doesn't really make sense for there to be anyone other than white people. You know, as controversial as that sounds, in a story where the artist says, hey, this is representative of my culture, European culture, because if it were the opposite, like say we had a movie about
Wakanda.
Yeah, Wakanda.
Wakanda's a good
this is fiction. Like Wakanda is just like, oh well, the king's gonna be white. Like that would be outrageous. It would
make no sense, especially at the beginning. Wakanda is very secluded. They don't isolated. Yeah. So it would make almost no sense for there to be a white Wakanda. Well, it would make no sense for there to be a white Wakandan.
I'm glad you said Wakanda, because I was going to give a worse example, but this is the realm of fiction. Like, these are made up stories, whatever. But the stories within themselves have like there's a through line of like there's logic behind it. Like, okay, like, you know, we can relate.
It's an internal consistency.
Internal consistency, perfect. Now, if we go to this is a thing that's happened recently, where there have been historical movies that have race swap characters, and people are just like, well, that's just like, people actually are just like, okay, like this is kind of going too far.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? I think it was Marie
Cleopatra?
Cleopatra or something. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Cleopatra. She was just like a straight up African woman.
Yeah, when she's like actually mostly
in the
Greek,
movies,
isn't she?
Yeah, she was like, yeah, Greek. And also, Egyptians don't look African, like African,
they're not as dark skinned.
In terms of dark skins, right? They just have completely different.
It's because I think they're largely like Mediterranean kind of looking.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. And if we swap that, it's just like, oh, this is a story about like you know, some very, you know, an African civilization, you know, and the story about or whatever, like, and you know, they just replace like one of the main characters as like a white guy, and they just don't bring it up at all. It's just like, what the is this? Like,
Yeah, it wouldn't
doesn't
make any
need-
sense.
And then there's a layer of just like, well, you know, representation, blah blah blah. And maybe as a white person, I'm white, by the way, you too.
White.
As a
We
white
can
person,
tell by your
maybe
bigoted
I'm just kind of blind to this.
Yeah, a
Because,
little
you know, most of the protagonists of the movies I watched growing up have been white.
Mm-hmm.
But
Would you
there's
say
a
you're
third-
privileged?
Yeah, for sure.
Privileged for what?
For just being an American. first of
True.
all.
That's like strong privilege. American privilege is real
But
strong.
I'm not going to deny that being an American and also being white is more privilege, and then also being male is privilege, and also having like decent education is also privilege, right?
Well, you went to PG County. So you're dumb as shit.
I did, but I also went to like a pretty good high school that I flunked out.
Right.
Maybe I'm blind to it, but then I think about like there are movies that I've seen with, you know, black actors who play roles that like didn't diminish my experience, that like, you know, I thought were really cool. Think of like Sam Jackson in Pulp Fiction. That's an incredibly iconic role. Django and Django Unchained. He's a protagonist, and it's one of Tarantino's best movies, in my opinion. And I'm like, these are leading roles for African Americans. It's not like it's impossible to make one. So, you know,
Morpheus.
Morpheus. I'm trying to think of things that are like people who are main characters. Yeah.
Morpheus would probably be the second one, right? Maybe second or third.
He's the second. In the first one, he's the second.
Okay,
I'm saying that there are examples of African American or diverse characters in unique stories that didn't already exist as one, and then you just remade them and braced them off.
There it is.
Here's a thought. If you're going to ignore what J.R.R. Tolkien wrote, why even adapt his stories?
I already have a problem with this, Patrick. We're already starting off bad. He said, why even adapt his stories? Adaptation already means you're changing something, right?
Sure.
Why would you follow the strict letter of what J.R.R. Tolkien wrote? Or you at least don't have to, right? As long as it's good, like, you don't have to follow the strict letter of everything.
I'm just trying to think. When someone has the rights to something, so for example, let's say J.R.R. Tolkien is still alive, but he sold the rights to Lord of the Rings. So anybody can like do anything with it for whatever reason. Would it be wrong to? It's not wrong for someone to, you know, make it however they see fit, right? Do you think?
They literally don't have a say, but that's more legally. I think there are probably changes that I would consider disrespectful.
Interesting. Do you think this would fall under them?
I don't know. I don't know enough about Lord of the Rings to really say. I think so, probably, just because I don't think Aragorn comes, especially if they have other characters who are Numenorians, because I think that's what Aragorn is, right? In that setting, and they're all white, then I would be like, then why is Aragorn black? Like, I don't get it. That wouldn't make any sense to me. Maybe disrespectful would be the wrong term there. It's just nonsensical.
Oh, you know what's a really good thing? Did you watch House of the Dragon?
Yes, I was going to talk about that too. Those dragon guys. I can't remember the name of their family.
I didn't mind it because there was a question of heritage.
Yeah, heritage.
The black prince married the white princess. They made an agreement with one another. Hey, like, hey, you're gay. I'm not into you. Let's just fuck whoever we want and just stay married for the sake of like our parents or whatever. So later on, when she gives birth to her not husband's children, they come out as like just straight up white, and it becomes a whole thing. And like the race part isn't ignored and it's accepted, or like it's they do something with it narratively.
Oh, I mean, it also makes sense. Even if you say the geography doesn't allow for that kind of skin color, it'd be like, well, they literally have dragon blood, so they're not even humans, or at least not strictly humans, right? There are already things about them that are different just because of their heritage. So it'd be like, does their skin color work in the exact same way as a human would? Probably not. Or at least it's reasonable for it not to. Adaptation, okay. Make it make sense. That's a TLDR from me.
It can be done as long as you make it make sense. When did we decide that our political discourse is going to be run by those like hypersensitive drama kids in high school?
Probably when they started taking over all the colleges.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've been saying this for years. We need a good old-fashioned land war just to, you know, take out all the weak.
Yeah, right. I was for the plague until COVID happened, and then everybody's like, now you need to shut down. I was like, no, we need to open up. All the weak get cold. Come on, let's open this up. Let's do it.
Yeah. I was a little more extreme because a war is just like you need to like the strong actually survive. Like
Right.
you can be some and have like some immunity to some.
That's true.
No one's immune to a bullet, Steven.
That's not true. I shoot myself with bigger and bigger bullets every day to build up my immunity.
To build up immunity.
Yeah.
Damn. That's
it's dope.
You must have really good health insurance.
Yeah, dude. Work for Amazon. It's great. And before that, my dad was in the Navy, so I was on a TRICARE, dude. Great. Oh my god, I'm getting ambushed by a bunch of crazy ladies. Be after this penis. Alright, they're all dead. I killed them. They're dead. Every single one of them.
And then not
just the men. There were no men. But the women. And there weren't children. It was all women. They're all dead.
Hey, Anakin, what kind of videos you watch on the tube?
Anakin, what you be checking out on the hub, bro?
Every single one of them.
It's like, ooh, kinky. And not just the men, but the women. And the children, too. Oh my god, what a...
I can't find that move. That does not exist anymore. I tried for like an hour to find it.
Yeah, I've tried for a very long time. Anybody, if you guys know, there's a TikTok type video. I know nobody watches this, but in case somebody does, there's like a TikTok style video. Might have been short, might have just been before either of these existed. Of a dude asking Anakin what he watches on Pornhub. It is one of the funniest things. It is absolute comedic genius. I think I cried the first time I watched it. Not only because it was funny, but I was sad that I will never beat that. There's no way I'll be that funny in my life. It's not possible. Like, you should be able to identify at least somewhat with people who don't look like you.
You should be able to relate to people who don't look like you.
Yeah, like I relate to like female characters or black characters. I can't think of any because all the good ones are white men. I know, very cringe. I'm capable of empathy.
Imagine relating to Rey Skywalker. Jesus.
Well, that's not a character. That's the problem you have there. There's no character in Rey Skywalker. What is there to relate to? The fact that she is just incredible at everything but has zero personality? Like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm incredible at everything, but I have a personality, okay?
Okay, but to interpret his sentence charitably, people do tend to relate more with people who look like them more. I will give the example of Eminem. Not only is he very good at rapping, but I would say that a large part of his success is that he accessed a market of white kids. They're just like, oh, this guy is cool and he looks like me.
Mm-hmm.
And like we share experiences, so therefore, blah blah blah.
Well, yeah.
There are lots of examples of that.
I totally agree.
And that's one of the very good that's one of the most persuasive arguments for representation, right?
No, I totally agree with you. That doesn't mean you can't do it to people who don't look like you, I guess. It helps because like you require less empathy if it's somebody who has gone through similar struggles to you have, because you don't have to empathize, you've done it. Like, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have to empathize with the struggles of, what the struggles have I gone up to? I don't know. I'll out my dad. A somewhat abusive dad. I'll leave it at that. I don't really have to empathize too much with other people who've gone through that. It's just like, no, I know. I did it. I went through that. So I get it. It requires two related but different. I don't know if you say emotions. What would you say empathy is? Is it an emotion? I don't know. Abilities?
Empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoes and feeling their like emotions.
Well, I got that. I'm saying like, is that? What do you categorize that as? Is it an action? What? Is empathy an action? Is it an attribute? Like I think it's an action, right?
It's like an emotion. Kind of like an kind of.
It's not important. I was just trying to.
It's not like something you can like. That's interesting. I don't know. Is empathy learned or is it inherent in people?
It's probably both. I think it's actually significantly inherent in people, but not entirely. Because I definitely gain empathy by like living in a more diverse area. I gained more empathy. Like, my dad, I think, is incredibly unempathetic because he hasn't experienced a lot of the people.
Much of diversity.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I say the way you solve this, you make them all black. That's how you do it. Then it makes sense. Make everyone black.
Yeah, for sure.
And do only pale orcs. The one pale orc, he's now dark. And then from The Hobbit, that guy's dark, and then all the other orcs
let's
are
just
white.
race swap everything.
Everything, just complete. We're not even gonna race swap them. We're gonna draw them regular, and then we're gonna do the inverse thing on like Photoshop. It's gonna be great.
We're gonna make a samurai movie. It's set in Japan, and it's only gonna be white people.
The last one is gonna be a white guy.
Yeah, he's gonna be the last samurai, and it's just gonna be like one black guy, and then everybody else is gonna be white. There's gonna be no Asians in the movie at all.
And it's literally still gonna be played by Tom Cruise, but he's gonna be in blackface like in Tropic Thunder. It's so awesome, dude. Oh my god, it's gonna be the best movie ever.
Out of that movie.
That would be the best.
Tom Cruise is a good actor, dude.
He's awesome. He'll do his own stunts. He'll break his legs all the time. It'll just be awesome.
He'll definitely get an N-word pass for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure he already has it. I'm sure there's some movie that gave it to him.
Tom Cruise?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just making.
Robert Downey Jr. definitely has one.
Oh yeah, he's. I think he's just one of them now. I don't think even.
Jesus Christ.
I'll have to ask Chris. Maybe Chris.
Chris gave you one.
He sure did. Yes, he did. Don't believe what anyone else will tell you. He definitely gave it.
Jesus Christ.
Good times.
Alright.
That's my opinion.
This is such a non-thing. I feel like it would be different if this was a movie. The fact that it's a card game, we could just feel it's a card game. But like
it's also
like a brand, like it was like a $2 billion movie that's being made, and like Aragorn's flag, like this would be completely different.
I agree. It would be more important, or at least it would be more impactful, because we're just looking at the image. It's not a big deal. They should make a like Judge promo that's white. That'd be dope.
Jesus Christ.
That should be dope. Maybe like the super expensive rare one is just white.
It's the one that everybody actually wants.
Yeah. It's just worth like $1 million. Like, dang.
Jesus Christ.
Obviously,
Bad
people
bad guy.
didn't care so much to stop buying this set because that. I understand it was Post Malone, but that one ring card sold for like $1 million or whatever it was. So it didn't seem to throw people off so much that a lot of people boycotted or stopped playing or whatever. Maybe it's the Streisand effect, like with Harry Potter, where everybody started boycotting and it was the best-selling game
Forever, yeah.
that
whole year.
The author is the one who decides the rules of the world, and those are the rules that everyone must follow. You do not get to come in and change it just to suit you.
They do if they're making an adaptation in their product. Why don't they? Who the f are you to tell them what they can and can't do? It's they own Magic the Gathering. They can put whatever they want in it.
Let's just take a step back.
No.
Okay,
let's take a step back.
Well, like, at what point does it just become a different thing, right? Like, okay, there's one race swap, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, let's just say like someone buys Star Wars and then just like releases a Star Wars movie, and it's just about like it's like a
Finn
buddy
is
cop.
white.
It's no. It's like a buddy cop movie like set in the 70s, and it's like this is Star Wars. I'm like, this is not Star Wars.
Sure. I agree. Well, to be fair, I don't know if Episode 8 is Star Wars. Like, is this Star Wars? Are you sure?
Yeah.
That doesn't look like Luke Skywalker. Or at least doesn't act like him. I get your point. I don't disagree with you. But, like, I don't like the idea that we're just like, no, you just can't. I was just like, I'm not going to make up rules of what you can and can't do.
I will.
I might. That's fine. I might not consider it like a thing because I'm just like, I don't see enough connective pieces here for this still to be Lord of the Rings. But I don't think just changing the race of somebody would be enough for me to say it's not Lord of the Rings. I think that's absurd.
Yeah, for sure. That's true.
So like, just the rule that you can't. Like, no, you don't. Like, you don't have the right. I was just like, well, I do. I'm making the thing. You don't have the right to tell me I can't do this. I can do whatever I want with it. They gave me the Lord of the Rings license, and they said I can do this. So, spoiler alert, you're wrong. Beat my boys. What color are the boys? That's the important question.
They're a perfect mix of every race.
Yeah. It's just equally represented. The exact representation of American population. We've got 100 boys, there's 15 black people.
Actually, without the whites, though, because we don't beat white people.
Jesus. Well, the beater is white. Come on now. We want to be historically accurate now.
Oh my god. You know, everyone's just mad because we won, right? Jesus Christ.
Just lose with
All
the
right,
dignity.
let's go.
All right. Start pulling
It's
your
like
collar.
it's just a world full of salty losers. It's all...
Jesus, you're literally saying all minorities are losers and they're salty about it. Wow. Huh.
You think they would? You think they would hold this opinion if the shoes were on the other
They
foot?
won?
Don't think so. Yeah.
I somewhat agree with you. We're getting a little edgy, but you know, I'll follow you a little bit. Asians are oftentimes the least worried with this type of because they're generally beating white people in like every metric.
They do better than white people in America.
They do, yeah.
This is exactly what Tolkien argues in his letter. Quote, I presume that if I had presented the hobbits as speaking Italian, Russian, Chinese, or what you will, he would have left the names alone.
Can you imagine if
Or
the
if I had
hobbits were
pretended
just
that the
speaking
Shire was something.
They were the only ones. I'd be like, what the hell is happening?
Why is this? They're like, what are you, racist? I'm like, no.
I was like, well, it's confusing because they're speaking English because I assume they're not actually speaking English. But they're all speaking the same language, so that's fine. So if you now introduce a different race that's speaking a different, like, human language, that's very confusing. I don't know what the f anyone's speaking now. I have to assume they're actually speaking English. And it starts breaking.
I didn't know I was friends with such a bigot, dude. That's crazy.
Am I wrong? Like in Star Wars, when people aren't speaking basic, they speak in a language that doesn't exist. They don't speak Chinese.
No, I know. Yeah, it'd be funny. Yeah, that's why I said it would be funny.
Yeah, it'd be
like it'd be such a weird choice. Like no one addresses it. You're just like, what? Okay.
I would be so confused. I would be
I
immediately ripped out. I would have no idea what's going on. Like the Elvish language is a non-existent language. It's not Arabic or something.
And by the way,
close. Like
the cards aren't even consistent. For example, they race swap Aragorn and Galadriel, two characters who are explicitly described as having pale or fair skin. But Arwen, Galadriel's granddaughter, is white.
That doesn't make any damn sense. I would totally agree with you there. Apparently.
Yeah, all of this is retarded.
That's really retarded. I mean, it doesn't mean it's not possible.
In the book, Imrahil the Fair is a 50-something-year-old white dude, but now he's a young black guy. Legolas, who's known for his golden hair, is clearly not...
Well, that one, just nitpicking that last one, that is not an internal inconsistency in the thing. It's still the same adaptation problem that you have.
blonde.
Same with this one, also adaptation.
It's literally a defining characteristic telling you what clan of elves he's from. Just ignore. Then we've got Asian Butterbur, Black Hobbit, Brown Man of Gondor.
None of these are inconsistent, though, right? Well, maybe the Brown Man of Gondor is, if a bunch of other people, a bunch of other Gondorians.
I didn't even realize Butterbur was Asian in the card. Like,
I don't even know who that is. It's just a Hobbit?
I don't know, dude. Like, everything is terrible.
That's true. Everything that's not white is terrible. Patrick Macklem.
Jesus Christ. I'm not a bad guy. I'm just ahead of the curve.
Just because you're a bad guy doesn't mean you're a bad guy.
Just guy.
But you are a bad guy.
Blackish Westfold Rider, but the Easterling, you know, the ones who are supposed to be Asian, now they're white. White,
base.
What is happening?
Is that true? They actually race swapped one to white? That is so wild. Oh, one of the Easterlings. That's crazy. Were they actually described as like Asian kind of looking in the books? I mean, he said that.
I'm sure they were, yeah.
Yeah, they were probably at least different skin color, right? And they made a black color one into a white person. That's so awesome.
Bad guy.
Yes, that's the one example. Oh, I'm going to use that now. Oh, the example I normally go to when you talk about race swapping, I was just like, well, they made Jesus, who was Middle Eastern, into a white guy. So there you go.
That's a great historical advantage. And you know why they did it? Is so people can relate, the Europeans could relate to him.
That's probably 100% true.
That's exactly true.
Oh my 100%. God. So now if I hear people complain about it, I was just like, is Jesus white? They were like, I'm atheist. I'm like, but we were talking about fantasy world, so he's allowed to be black or white.
Please engage with my argument. Please, that's all I have.
No, you're religion.
Start crying.
It gets worse, because somehow when Gandalf the Asian dies, he's reborn
Is
as
he
Gandalf
Asian?
the Black.
He's black? I don't think either of those are what he said they were.
It's like Gandalf the Gray, Gandalf the White, and Gandalf the
Asian. Gandalf the Yellow. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Right.
If he had a yellow cloak there, Oh my god.
Is this
I didn't think
okay?
either of these.
Are we
He said
bad
this one was
guys?
black. Are we bad guys? We're the ones with the skull pins. We're like, are we the baddies? I don't. This one doesn't look black.
Don't call him. He just looks like Gandalf, dog.
I know he does, but he just said he's Asian and black. I'm gonna rewind. Try to like 10 seconds.
This guy's grasping his straws. The only one I can tell for sure he's not white is
Aragorn.
but Aragorn. Yeah.
Yeah, the other ones. There looked like there was a brown Numenorian, or Gondorian rather.
Now they're white. White ginger woman.
Oh yeah.
What is happening?
Based.
Oh, it gets worse because
Yeah, so
Oh,
this
he
is
does-
Asian.
He does look kind of Asian there.
He might just be squinting though. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
sure.
know. It's on the line.
That's I think that's racist saying he's Asian just because he's squinting. I think that's racist.
Wow.
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 somehow when Gandalf the Asian dies, he's
Don't
reborn
call
as
him
Gandalf,
Gandalf
the
the Asian.
It's-
Well, he called him.
Gandalf the Black?
That's yeah.
Who is
So,
this guy?
First of all,
What
it is
year
actually a different body, right?
in this economy.
So it could change. I'm not saying it should, but it could. It is actually a different body.
Dude, this guy is.
But that one's not black. I think this one actually does kind of support that it's Asian. His eyes are still kind of less round, I'll say. Because I'm legitimately not trying to be racist. I'm just trying to describe Asian features.
I cannot stress this enough. Yikes.
Well, I don't know what else to say, man. I gotta talk about the shape of his eyes. What words would you like me to use?
Y'all bad guys. You and this video content creator. Hashtag all content creators are racist. Don't
That's
ask me.
true.
Alright.
Every single one of them, especially the ones arguing for more diversity.
It's the same person, race swapped. And he's not the only one.
It's quite literally not the same person, right? His body is gone. Isn't it a different body? I think that's
Dude,
why he
I
has
don't-
different hair
like,
color.
They're like angels, man. I don't.
I know, he's a... I'm dying.
Oh, are you okay?
I'm sorry, the
Doing it?
whiteness just got me.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting, really. It's clearly a different body. That's why he has different facial hair color. And his hair is just different texture and everything. So, I don't think that argument quite holds. I don't think we went from Asian to black. I am just not at all on that. Well, then again, he thinks his avatar is black, and it doesn't look black to me. So
Calling him Gandalf the Black is outrageous.
Gandalf the Asian and Gandalf the Black. All right.
Jesus Christ.
Why is it when Gandalf got stronger, he became white? Huh? What the
Steven, you know why.
Jesus. Michael Jackson did. Michael
Wow.
Jackson got less strong, though. You're a
No,
nice
he just
weaker.
became. Yeah, Michael Jackson went from black and cool to white and a pedophile.
Yeah,
so
it went really, really not cool.
really not cool. Yeah. So checkmate, racist or anti-racist.
Yep.
I don't.
That's
I don't know
proof
where
that
I'm
black
going.
people are better than white people. And
Yeah.
definitive proof.
Let's just take both sides so no one knows what to call us.
We're fence sitting. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
we're friends. We're going.
It's like the Always Sunny meme. He's like, I'm playing
We're
both
like, we
sides,
hate-
so I always come out on top.
We hate English. We hate white people. We hate the English. You know, we're saying outrageous.
I hate everyone equally, okay? It's fine.
It's cringe. You're
That's
cringe.
like on a Family Guy where they were like doing a thing where they were slaves or whatever, and then Stewie says, "I'm half white, half black." That means everyone will accept me. It's actually the opposite. No one will.
That's real sad.
It's funny though.
Meriadoc Brandybuck, white. Mary Esquire of Rohan, black. Same person. How is this happening?
I don't think that one doesn't look obviously black to me. It does look a little bit darker skin. I'll give them that. It also could be happening because it's just different artists.
You'd think the people painting the pictures had no idea that these are the same people, but then there's clearly a mandate to depict Blaragorn and Queen Cleo as black.
Did he say
someone's
Blaragorn?
telling you
Yeah, he
people-
said that
Holy
earlier
shit.
too.
How are you messing this up?
Crazy.
I'm surprised you didn't catch that. He said that like in the first like 2 minutes.
What an outrageous human being.
He's black. He can say it. He has the N-word back.
Oh, he does. He's black.
Well, that's what he said. We don't actually know. You can claim you're black. We don't know.
Yeah.
I can't. You can see me. Here I am, super white.
Steven, you don't know I'm not black.
I do. I technically right now don't. You could actually be a different person, but I have seen what I believe is you.
Crazy.
But that's not the one. This is the one, and you really do need to look at the screen. Nothing is
Okay.
more important than
Looking
the
at the
screen.
screen. Aomer.
Look at the screen.
Don't look at
Here is
card.
Aomer,
There's
and here
Aomer.
is his biological sister from the same.
Are you serious? Oh my god. No way. Okay, that's wildin'. That one is absolutely wildin'. These are way better arguments than just the Aragorn one. We have lost the plot in chasing diversity. We've completely lost the plot. This are bad. This are woke and are bad.
From the same two parents, Eowyn.
That's
How
fucking,
in the
that's
hell is he
bonkers.
white and she's black if they have the same white parents? Wizards of the Coast were so busy trying to be inclusive and diverse that they
Steven,
didn't
don't
even
you know-
keep track of the shit they were changing.
Don't you know genetics is a construct?
Oh yeah, it's a social construct. AKA it's fake. Which social construct doesn't mean it's fake. Race is a social construct. Until we start being like, look, these two skeletons, you can't tell what race it is, and then people who are biologists come in and be like, actually, I can tell what's going on here. I remember that was going around like 10 years ago on Facebook. There was an x-ray of two people kissing, and they were like, this is so great because you can't see anything. You can't see their gender or their race, and somebody's like, well, here's the gender.
You can definitely
and
tell
race of them.
gender.
Yeah, they were like, well, here's where you're wrong. This is a white dude and a black woman or whatever it was. It's like, here's how I know. And it ended up being like totally correct. We did it, Patrick.
Is that it?
We solved racism. What did you learn, Patrick? Anything? Are you educated? Is your racism solved? Are you more racist, less racist?
See, I don't believe I was racist. Okay.
Did you learn anything new?
No, I don't.
What did I learn? I learned anybody who ever changes a race of anything is a horrible bigot who cannot see past skin deep and cannot possibly empathize with other people. I learned that despite having two white parents, you can indeed have one black child and one white child.
Yeah, the things you brought up, like, I mean, it's a card game, but the stakes are so low, like, it doesn't matter. If there were anything that was just like, you know, a movie or a TV show or like a narrative something where like things like this kind of matter in terms of immersion, like it would be like, what the are you guys doing? Like, this doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah. I thought his last little bit there, not all of them were good, but like the ones, especially when people were related, I thought those were really good. I'm just like, yeah, this is really internally consistent. So it bolsters his point about Aragorn, like being just like having a bad motivation even more.
And also the whole thing is just like, yeah, you can do this as long as, you know, it makes sense and it's done well. My end point is just like, it's done poorly most of the time. This is an example of that.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. They care more about their politics than they do about the art itself.
Yes, which is not good, generally.
No, it's horrible. It's like the worst thing.
Is there anything else you want to say before we say goodbye to the people?
No.
No?
Except Steve Jobs and don't at me.
Okay, that's fair. Anyway, Patrick, I had a lot of fun with you. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Of course. I had a good time. I hope.
Thanks, y'all, for watching. I'll catch y'all on the next one.